Oh, man, I love this place. I was talking to a congregant earlier as I'm saying hello in the morning before service starts, and how as a child, I couldn't stand Sundays, but oh gosh, did I love Saturdays. Waking up, sneaking into the TV, even though I was on restriction, couldn't watch TV. I'd still watch a little bit and then get a spanking in the afternoon. It was worth it. But now, as an adult, I'm telling you what, Sundays is the pinnacle. I absolutely love this because it reminds me of who and what I am, and it gives me the energy to last throughout that week. It's this music program that is special. So with that said, the bridge over troubled water. Now, just saying that word or that sentence, the bridge, two things come to my mind at least. One, there's that bridge that gets us over the stream. But in the musical world, the bridge is that transition from one verse to another. Now, I may be wrong, but that's kind of my understanding of what that bridge is, especially when James Brown says, "Take it to the bridge." I love this. So let's get going. Just look at these waves. Can you relate this in your own life? Troubled waters, the churning of the ocean. And yes, we've had some issues over in the Gulf and stuff like that, but let's bring it more personal, shall we, today? What storm is in our lives? What storm is in your life today? Dr. Joe says someone cried themselves to sleep last night. And this place right here is a place to uplift that energy, to have us recognize that we are that divine expression of spirit, that everything that we need is already within us. It's only our recognition of that divinity that allows that expression to blossom. Life is dynamic. Look at what's going on in the world. Why is it so easy to buy into fear? Every 4 years, we go through the same thing. Every 4 years, it's the same flippin' thing. But in my 50-something years, does it really matter what side of the aisle's in office? And this isn't getting political because it's not about that. It's about the idea of living in fear of something that's not a reality. Because let's face it, the only reality is what you're doing in your life. It's not because of who's sitting in a seat on the other end of America. It's not who's governor. Heck, it's not even your partner. The driver of your life is yourself. So there's no need to fear anything. Yes, we make intelligent decisions on facts. So what are the facts in your life? Are the facts in your life something that you were told by your parents, by your family? What about the facts that your friends tell you? Are those true facts? Or are they just relative, based upon an assumption that they heard from someone else? You know that time when in grammar school, I don't know, where the teacher would say something in this child's ear and then it would go down the line, and by the time it got to the end, it was something totally different? As adults, isn't that kind of the same thing? So the bridge is my own way. Not worrying about the turmoil of what's going on in life. It's what's going on in my... Not the turmoil that's happening throughout, the relative. I need to worry about the waters in my own life. And let's find out how to do that. Some may say I can't bridge that. It's too dangerous. You're too afraid to do something. You're too afraid to accomplish something. When I first started my business, I was afraid. I know that's hard to believe. Me afraid? Exactly. But I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to begin. I knew what I to do as far as like my craft. But how do you start a business? It was foreign to me because I took the law from someone in the relative form saying it's hard to get a business. You've got to go through these steps and those hoops and this and that. When all it really was just, I'm starting my business today. And taking that first step and finding out what to do. Then taking the next step and finding out what to do. And before you know it, like Forrest Gump, you've ran across the United States 3 or 4 times before you got tired. No accountability. I see that a lot, it seems. Well, it's because of X, Y, and Z. My life is this because of something that someone else is doing. What are some of those? Well, they did this or that to me. My life is like this because of what they did. Have any of you used that line? I know I have. I'm honest. I'll tell you right now, I've used that. It's been a little while, but I do remember a time when that was the truth of who I was. It wasn't that divine truth. It wasn't that spiritual truth. But it was a truth nonetheless. Why? Because I believed it. Not because it was true in the spiritual form with a capital T, meaning that's the truth from spirit. How about this one? My boss is a jerk. No, I love her very much. I don't know, I'm going to get a whooping today. But you know what I mean. Again, you're putting the blame of your life and how it's unfolding upon somebody else. Can I get a raise of hands who've done that? I know I have. You know, it's easy to put the blame on somebody because I'm a victim. Or at least that's what I've been told. Woe is me. Have pity on me. Buy me a coffee. Or how about this one? Don't even get me started on my kids. I love that one. Though it's not true in my case, but I watch TV and I see things and I look at other parents and I'm going, oh, that would not fly in my house. You know, but anyway, but you get the gist of what I'm saying. How do we bridge from where we are now to where we want to be when there's this turmoil in front of you? Use that bridge. What type of bridge is it? Let's go. However, it's our mind that manifests the storms in our lives. There we go. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. The storms you see, the storms that you have up in here, are the storms that are up in here. Spirit always says yes to what we think. That is the cornerstone of our philosophy. What you think about, you bring about. So if you're thinking about woe is me, or I'm in fear of the future because of this time of the year, or this is the 4th year, guess what? You're absolutely right. Because Spirit can only do one thing, and that is say yes to whatever thought you have, because Spirit is nothing more than a mold. Whatever you want to experience, Spirit makes a mold, pours in your thoughts, your dreams, your energy, and out comes form for you to experience. So that turmoil can change like that. Through our thoughts, through a changing of our understanding of your life with that divine power. We're not talking about two separate things here. It's not you and then their spirit. No, you are the divine action and physical aspect of spirit at all moments. That's a heavy responsibility. That's a big book bag to be carrying on your back. Well, how do I cross this? I've laid awake at night sometimes thinking, how do I get past this job that I've got to do, or this didn't work out, or I've got to sign these papers, oh, my insurance is due. There's things that allow me to wake up and stay awake at night because I'm worried about them. How do you handle those type of thoughts and those type of emotion? How do you handle that energy? That's what we do here, to find out the answers of each and every individualized life. Be a bridge. Started off with a bridge, use a bridge, but now let's make it more personal. Be a bridge. And how about this? Not only be a bridge for yourself, but be a bridge for others. You know, I find more joy doing something for someone else than I actually do for myself. I can't put it into words, but I really do it just makes my day, it makes my week. When I can do something for someone else that has no idea who I am and wasn't expecting anything, but I was able to help them in whatever small part it was, to be able to help them through their day. And I'm sure there are people in this room right now that can understand that type of emotion, that type of action. Some people look at these waves and say, surf's up. Isn't that fun? Isn't it funny how what I may consider to be drudgery or, oh, woe is me, or that's too scary, and someone else is going, woohoo! Raise your hand as you go down the roller coaster. You know, it's amazing to me that the same action or what's going on can cause some people to be this form of consciousness, while it brings another form of consciousness to those on the other side of the spectrum. It's how we look at life. That's what we're talking about here. How are you looking at life? Do you really think, or how about this? Do you believe that life is against you? No. Life can only be for you. Life wants you to experience itself. The beautiful thing is that sometimes those big waves, who created them? It wasn't something outside of you. It wasn't every 4 years. It was that old monkey mind inside each and every one of us. You know the one I'm talking about. That creates that dynamic. Those waves are self-perpetuating? Self-induced. Those waves are self-induced. Just like the surfer, we can use this power, the power of that wave, to bridge the danger into a benefit. How about that? Let's learn how to see something that we used to think of as something to be wary of or to be cautious of, but realize that it is an example or an opportunity to benefit and uplift my life. How about that? How about every 4 years we go, woohoo, surf's up? Because it doesn't matter who's in what seat and in what state, because it's my consciousness. It's your consciousness. It's your expression of that divine aspect. So great. Surf's up, and the best wave's coming in November. I cannot wait to ride that wave and shoot the tube. I can't wait to see that on video. You might say everything's going to hell in a handbasket. Someone said, I don't think I'd use that. I don't think People know that phrase. I'm like, sweetheart, look at our congregation. Hell in a handbasket. Oh, man, I got told that all the time. But yes, exactly. How are we looking at life? Again, you're getting your cues and your news about what life is, not from that divine aspect that's within inside of you. You're getting your ideas about your life from Joe Schmo down the block who's working at a gas station or who's putting the groceries in your bag. Isn't that something to think about? You're giving more credit and more credibility to someone in that type of position than you are the divine nature. Now, I'm not talking disparagingly about that person because I recognize through this philosophy that each and every one of us are a divine aspect of that divine nature. At the level they're able to recognize it. And the reason why I know that is because when I first walked through these doors, I was at XYZ spot. Yes, I had what I thought was an okay life back then. But as the years have come along and I've grown in this philosophy and I've watched my mental aptitude and watched what I thought and what I said and watched how I treated other people, my life became more and more, but it seemed like I worked less and less. Now again, that's just the contrast of back then to now. And the only thing that changed was my attitude about my life. Not about the life, about what's happening out here, but I fixed my own plumbing in my own mind. And now I have no leaks. That's a good one. I got to write that down, somebody. All right, it's story time. Joe in the recession. You want proof about what I'm saying is true? Here's proof. How many people have been here since before 2005? How many people? Okay, so we've had a few. But remember what happened in 2006, 2007, that little recession that we had and all the banks and all the turmoil and stuff like that? Dr. Joe stood right up there at the beginning of that and said, you know what? This place, this center, everyone here, we are not participating in that dynamic. We know that our source is spirit. And through our connection with that spirit, through our use of that divine energy, we are not participating in that consciousness. And I can tell you what, more people than not only survived and did quite well, they actually grew their businesses during that time. So this is a place of demonstrations. Other faiths may call them miracles. We know that it's the divine right order of energy and the way the universe works, that's why we call them demonstrations. Because that's exactly what it is. Haven't you made it this far? Why? Okay, now I lost myself. Why did I write that? Well, you've made it this far, right? All of this stuff happening, here you are, sitting in this chair, getting spiritually fed by our musical program, by everyone here, by the friends that you have here. I'm sure you're going to go have lunch or brunch or whatever you call it after service with some friends and just connect. That's what it's all about. We are using spirit whether we know it or not. If this is your first time here, you don't have to go to classes to be able to use spirit. I'm here to tell you a little secret. You've always been using that energy in your whole life. The difference is what Dr. Dale teaches, what Reverend Laura teaches, is how to consciously harness. No, harness isn't. No, because you've always had it. You learn to control your thought patterns to be more in line with what and how you want to experience life. Because anybody can take paint and throw it up against the wall and go, look at this art. It's another thing to be a Rembrandt and to paint the details. That is what we are teaching you here. We are teaching you to be the Rembrandts of your own life. Doesn't that sound fun? I tell you what, it does to me. So you are the bridge. It's not something outside of you that you need to cross over or to build. You, that divine self that's way down inside here, that little voice that you hear that's inspiration, that's the bridge. You've already had it. There's no reason to worry about what's outside of you. When you come from that authentic self, and each of us knows what that is and who that is for each and every one of us, because my authentic self most assuredly is not yours. I sometimes have trouble keeping up with myself. When you are conscious to the fact that you are the action of spirit, that's what I'm saying. When you are conscious of that, your life cannot help but change. We don't pray something out of our lives. We pray the new thing in, and as a result, the old thing goes bye-bye. So always pray the new thing into your life. When you realize spirit is the source, capital S, meaning spirit, God, the universe, cheesecake, whatever it is, it's your divine order. It's the authentic self. In your life, the waves aren't as big and life is calmer. Yes, the waves are a lot less daunting. Now it just looks like a nice little time in a rowboat because now you're secure. You're coming from that authentic place, that authentic energy. You're coming from the truth of who and what you are. Each and every one of us has that. And I know that to be a fact because we are the action of spirit, each and every one of us. It's a hard thing to learn how to use it, though, because, again, it puts the responsibility on ourselves. We are the bridge of our own life. It's not something out there that someone else made. It's something that's in here. I just have to recognize that bridge is there, and I have to walk across. You have to walk across. Our use of the law, meaning that is the action of spirit. That is how thought becomes the thing. That is the spiritual pasta maker, as Dr. Joe would say. And seeing life for what it is allows us to live with peace and calm regardless of what others say. Again, there we go. When you live in truth of who and what you are and recognize that truth, you can have people say all sorts of stuff and go, that's nice. That's your belief, but I know what's true for me. And have a nice day. That's all you got to do. There's no need for an argument saying, no, I'm right, you're wrong. No. You don't need that energy because why? Your truth is your truth. My truth is definitely not my wife's truth. Thank goodness. And her truth is usually my truth. Oh, man, I love this job. Look at that. Your truth is your life. You are the conductor. You are the captain. You are the director. It's not some willy-nilly news source that you saw for 10 seconds on TikTok or Facebook or whatever happens to be the buzz thing today. Live from that true, authentic self of who and what you are, knowing that truth and living from that divine ideal, and allow that to inspire you, regardless of the relative. Live in the absolute truth of life. And that truth is, God is, I am. Say that with me. God is, I am. How about one more time with gusto? God is, I am. That right there is a prayer, pressed down and flowing over. Times of trouble, you want something done, you need some inspiration. God is, I am. Boom. Now, allow your mind to just think and explore and live. And those ideas that inspire you to become a better you will come forward because they've always been there. Since the moment you were born, since the moment your parents were born, God is, I am, has always been the truth. Your time has come to shine. All your dreams are on their way. See how they shine. That was a verse in that song right there from Simon and Garfunkel. How true. Your dreams are already on their way. Your dreams are your thoughts. Make sure you want to experience those dreams. That responsibility lies on each and every one of us. So allow surf to be up. Grab a surfboard and hang 10. Thank you very much.